Hello and welcome to this video of dplyr. Dplyr is the language of data manipulation which consists of various action verbs like select, arrange, filter, mutate, and summarize. And today's video is about the slice command. We would be using these packages. Now let's prepare some data, and we'll be using the Gapminder dataset which comes from the Gapminder package. And this is a demographic data for some countries, continents, which has the life expectancy, population, and GDP per capita for various years. Now let's add a new column in the dataset. I want to create a new data column called row ID, and I'll be using the row numbers. And I want to place it before the country. So if I run this command, you would see that we have a row ID which comes in the front. So before the country. Now let's start slicing the data. I will write the first script and I want to pick only the first row of the data. So I'm saying slice 1. And this command, if I run it, would give me the one single record, which happens to be the first record in this data set. This time we want to pick up all the data except the first row. So I'm saying slice, then I'm saying -1 in the brackets. Let's run it, and we have, instead of 1704 records, we have 1703 records. The first record is not been included, and that's what we wanted. Now watch the next statement carefully. I'm saying slice 10, and let's see what it does for us. It's only going to give us one record because we said we just want the 10th record. What if you wanted the first 10 records of the data set? You can do that by saying slice 1:10, and if I run it, we get the first 10 records of the data. And of course, this is not the only way to pick the first 10 records. We could have actually used another statement called the head statement. I can say head 10, that's going to give us the first 10 records of the data set. So exactly the same results. There is another slice command also, which is called slice head. So using that, we can also pick saying slice_head n = 10 would give us exactly the same result. So these three statements are giving you exactly the same results. So if there is a head command, there must be a slice tail command also. So using the slice tail command, we can pick the last 10 rows of the data. Now we want to pick the rows from row 100 until the end of the data set. So using the slice command, we can say that we want to start from 100 and we can go up to n. So which basically means the end of your data set. So you can see that our data starts from row 100 until the end of your data set. We can also tell dplyr that we don't want to pick the first 10 records, but we want to get everything else. So if I run D9, you can see the data has started from row ID number 11 until the end of your data. There's another variation of the slice command called slice min or slice minimum. We can tell the system that we want to pick the minimum value of the life expectancy column, and we just want to pick 5 records. So slice minimum will do that for us. So we are saying life expectancy is the column, and we want to look only 5 values, which are the minimum values for that column. So you can see that we have picked up 5 rows and where the life expectancy is the minimum. There's also a slice maximum command where you can tell the system to pick the maximum values of any data column. And in this example, I'm picking again the life expectancy column and getting the maximum values, and I just want to get 5 rows. So there we have 5 rows of life expectancy where the life expectancy column is the maximum. Here is an important point of the slice min, slice maximum, and I want to demonstrate that using another data set called empty cars. So here is the empty cars data set, which has some data for the cars, and it has the MPG, cylinder, displacement, etc. So using this data set, I just want to bring up the point regarding the slice min and the slice max commands. So let me write the slice minimum command using the empty cars data set, and we are saying that we want to get the minimum value of the cylinders, and I only want to get one row. But let's look at the result. So D12 has multiple rows, and the reason for that is that the cylinder is minimum, which is the minimum value is 4. So in all of those rows the value of the cylinder was minimum. So though you said I just want to get one record, it actually gave you everything. And to avoid that, you would have to use something called with ties equals false. So this time I'm saying that I want to pick the values, but I don't, if there is any tie between the same value, I just want to pick the top row, just one row. You can also use the slice command to pick the random samples from your data set. In this case, we are using the slice underscore sample command, and we want to pick 5 rows from it. So if I run it, so D14 has 5 records. And whenever you do a random sample, there are two choices. One is with replacement, and other one is the without replacement. So by default it's without replacement, and if you wanted to have replacements equals true, you can define that as an option saying replace equals true. While taking the random samples, you can also tell the system that we want to give a particular weightage to any column. In this case we are saying weight by life expectancy column. So it's actually going to give us those records where the life expectancy column is higher. So if I run D16, I would get those records where the life expectancy was the highest, and it's still random sample, as you can see by the row IDs. Now once more, have a look at the dataset D, which has the data for various countries and for various years. And if I wanted to pick the maximum years for each of the country, I can do that by grouping the data by the country, and then another command saying arrange minus years, so descending order, highest at the top, and then say slice head n equals 1, which will give the top 1 values for each country for each year. We can combine the group by and slice max again. So for example, in this case we are saying group the data by country and then get the slice maximum based on the population n equals 1. So this is the data based on the maximum values of the population for each country. So you would actually get one record per country in whatever year their population was maximum. It could be year 2007 or 2002 or whatever. We can change our command and use slice minimum instead of the slice maximum. And again, we are using the population as our column, and we'll get the minimum values of those records where the population was minimum for each country, because we're grouping it by the country. What if I just write a simple command saying group the data by the country and then just give me slice 1? You would just get the first record for each country in your data set. For example, this happens to be the year 1952 for each country. There is a proportions command in the dplyr slice command also. Using that, you can pick certain portion of the data or the rows for each group. For example, in this case, we are saying that we want to group the data by the country, and then we want to do slice head proportion equals 0.1. That means 10% of the rows for each country should be put into our final results. Here we have 10% of rows for each country. So this video has been part of the series of dplyr videos, and I hope you found this information of dplyr slice command useful and practical. Thank you very much for watching it, and I'll see you in the next one.